Hey everyone, it's Susan Pierce Thompson and welcome to the weekly vlog. It is Wednesday, smack dab in the middle of November of 2016, and Thanksgiving is 1 week and 1 day away. So this vlog is all about how to handle Thanksgiving, how to have a bright line Thanksgiving, how to have a Thanksgiving that is more radiant, more gratitude filled, more precious than any Thanksgiving you have ever had. Shall we talk about that? Let's. Okay, so topic number one is what you can expect leading up to Thanksgiving if you do bright line eating is that your saboteur is going to be making use of every bit of rationalization and justification that it can to convince you to break your bright lines on Thanksgiving, to convince you to stretch them, to convince you that the day won't be the day unless you have a little bit more food, that it's only right and natural that Thanksgiving be filled with rich, abundant, excess food, and there's gotta be a way to work the angles, play the game, and sneak it in. So I invite you to take a second right now and to note how your saboteur has been doing that. To just think about what it's convinced you to do. Is it to have a glass of wine? Is it to, have some extra mashed potatoes? Is it to just forget about your bright lines on Thanksgiving and just eat whatever you want because after all, it's Thanksgiving? Just take a look. My saboteur has been telling me that I could stick with the bright lines of sugar, flour, and meals, but just relax the bright line of quantities and eat a big, yummy meal. That's what my saboteur has been telling me. What's your saboteur been telling you? I invite you to take a look. So let's look for a second at why not to do that. Let me start off by saying, if you want to, you can do that. Like, there are no bright line police. I am not going to knock on your door on Thanksgiving and check on your bright lines. Like, nobody's going to do that. So by all means, eat whatever you want on Thanksgiving. If you want to go that route, that is your prerogative. And yet, here you are watching a vlog about bright line eating on Thanksgiving. So I imagine that at least a part of you is curious about whether there's a better way, whether it's possible to stick with bright lines on Thanksgiving, whether it's advisable, what are the pros and cons. Let's take a look under the hood a little bit. Here's the thing about building in exceptions into your bright line eating plan. And make no mistake, if you go the route of believing your saboteur and deciding that because it's Thanksgiving, you need to, have to, must eat XYZ extra foods, that is a form of building in exceptions into your bright line eating plan, because then when you're going on a cruise, your saboteur is going to have similar ammunition. When you're going to a really special dinner party that your friend has worked for days to prepare all this extra food, your saboteur is going to have an in. When it's Valentine's Day and you're going out to a really extra special meal, when it's your wedding anniversary, when it's your daughter's bat mitzvah, when it's, a really nice weekend away with your friends, when it's, you get the idea, right? I have watched as people live a life of, raising and lowering their expectations of themselves regarding their diet or their food plan or whatever based on the holidays, special occasions, travel that's coming up. And what it looks like is there's hardly 2 weeks in a row that are worth sticking on a food plan if you're lowering your expectations of yourself just because there's some kind of special thing coming up. Really, the whole year is punctuated by these opportunities to eat off your plan. So that's what that looks like. And my guess is that if you're not in a right-sized body living happy, thin, and free, you have in your past, dieting experience, bought into that notion that if there's a really good reason, there's no way you can stick with your food plan. And Thanksgiving is a really good reason. So in bright line eating, we do it differently. And what that looks like is Thanksgiving is a Thursday. It's a beautiful Thursday, but it's a Thursday. And if your dinner plan calls for 4 ounces of protein and 6 ounces of cooked vegetables and 8 ounces of salad and a serving of fat, then that's what your Thanksgiving meal looks like. And if you want to have 4 ounces of turkey and 6 ounces of roasted butternut squash and 8 ounces of salad and a tablespoon of olive oil, and that's your meal, then that's your meal. So if your heart is sinking at the thought of that, that's your dopamine downregulation talking. That means that your brain hasn't fully healed yet. It means that without the rush of extra sugar and flour, of extra quantities of food, your dopamine response isn't ample enough to allow you to feel the goodness in life without excess food. And that will heal, but only if you give it a chance to heal, only if you lay off the sugar, flour, and excess food so that your brain can heal. And that means not eating off your plan on Thanksgiving, because that's just going to set your brain back from healing. So I invite you to consider thinking about this occasion coming up as an opportunity to rise way above all of that chatter around the food that your saboteur wants you to engage in, to draw your bright lines extra bright, and to take the conversation to a higher level. So what does that look like? That looks like the reality that having a blissful, amazing, one-of-a-kind, best ever Thanksgiving has got nothing to do with food. It has to do with gratitude, it has to do with family, it has to do with service, and it has to do with honoring ourselves at the deepest level and creating a plan for a day that makes our spirits and hearts soar like they've never soared before. Because there is something special about Thanksgiving. There's going to be a magical feeling in the air. There's something different about family and loved ones getting together, celebrating, lovely smells in the air, laughter of kids running around, people you haven't seen in a while, time to sit and talk. There's something precious about a holiday like this. And you can create a plan to make that day feel extraordinary. Some of the components of a day like that include working in opportunities for deep gratitude, working in opportunities for profound service, paying attention to opportunities for connection, frequent, deep, meaningful connection, throwing in some prayer if you're the praying sort, throwing in some meditation, and now you've got the formula for a Thanksgiving that's going to make your heart soar. So let me tell you what I'm planning on Thanksgiving. I was just thinking about recording this vlog, and I was noticing that my saboteur was trying to get me to decide to eat extra quantities on Thanksgiving. And I nipped it in the bud, and I said, you know what? I'm not going to do that. This is coming up. This is my 14th consecutive Thanksgiving following a food plan of no sugar, no flour, eating only at meals and not eating excess quantities. I have never broken my bright lines on Thanksgiving. I have never broken my bright lines on Thanksgiving. And I can tell you, after years of doing it this way, it works, and it's powerful, and it gets so much easier. And I want you to experience laying the groundwork for a life happy, thin, and free, without succumbing to that BS narrative that your saboteur wants you to buy into, that you have to make an exception because it's a holiday, or a vacation, or a dinner party, or a celebration, or someone's birthday. It's just not true. It's just not true. But you have to have a plan. There's no way to go into a day like Thanksgiving just saying, I'm going to stick with my bright lines, I hope, without a plan, and to have that go well. You've got to have a plan. So let me tell you my plan. On Thanksgiving Day, I'm going to be in California with my husband, our 3 little girls, and we're going to be at Aunt Judy's house. And Aunt Judy's house is comfortable, and there's going to be amazing food around. And I know she's going to put out food early in the day for people to snack on. Good food. So what I know about myself is that there's going to be some willpower depletion in there. I'm not going to eat that food, but I'm going to need to have a plan of what I'm going to do for all of those hours. Now, I could volunteer to help Aunt Judy in the kitchen And maybe that'll work, but the kitchen tends to get crowded and she knows exactly what she's doing, and I might not be that helpful in the kitchen. So probably my best path is out of the kitchen. And here's what I'm thinking. Now, I happen to be blessed that I'm a Bright Lifer. I mean, I'm the figurehead of Bright Line Eating, but I'm not just, the president of the Hair Club for Men, but I'm also a member. I'm not just the head of Bright Line Eating. I'm also a member. I'm also one of the Bright Lifers. Bright Lifers are this precious community of people who've graduated from the Bright Line Eating Bootcamp and chosen to stay close to the mothership and stay on. And we have a special community called Bright Lifers. And it's remarkable. And we have a special online support community for just Bright Lifers. So what I have planned, so I know there's Bright Lifers watching. Hi, here's what I've planned. Thanksgiving Day, I'm going to do our accountability call first thing in the morning. I talk with my Bright Lifers every single morning for 15 minutes. We have an accountability call. Anyone can call into it who's a Bright Lifer, and we talk on the phone for 15 minutes. I coach one person, and we do an accountability roll call of did we stick with our bright lines, and do we have our food written down for the day, and have we meditated, have we talked with another Bright Lifer, etc. It's awesome. So I'm going to do the accountability call in the morning, as always. It's going to be a special one because it's Thanksgiving. And then when we get to Aunt Judy's house, I'm going to put myself on a little schedule where I'm going to alternate between being at her house, whether that means playing with the kids, talking with our cousins and finding out how they are, helping in the kitchen if I can be helpful, spending time with my kid's great-grandmother, Grandma Lilo, who's going to be there, doing things like that, being of service, focusing on gratitude, service, connection, and then stepping into the bathroom, posting on my smartphone in the Bright Lifers group, hey everybody, I'm going to make phone calls, post your phone number if you're available and I'll call you. And then I'm going to step outside. They have this big deck that I can walk around, and I'm going to step outside and I'm going to make phone calls, one after the other, and call my precious Bright Lifers and find out how they are, coach them through if they're getting squirrely, just do service, connect, spend some time. And then I'll go back in the house, be with the people there, and I'm going to go back and forth between being on the phone with my Bright Lifers and being in the house connecting. Now, you might say, well, I'm not in Bright Lifers and I'm not famous, so nobody wants to talk to me. But think about it. You have a phone full of phone numbers of cousins, aunts, uncles, friends, old work acquaintances, people that you could call on Thanksgiving. Don't think, I don't want to bother anybody. If they're not available, they won't answer the phone. Leave a message. You could call people and say, hey, I've been thinking about you. Happy Thanksgiving. We haven't talked in a while. Just know I'm grateful for you in my life. Thank you so much for the time you XYZ. And I'm remembering that lovely time that we ABC. And I just want you to know that you're special to me in my life. Thank you for being you. Click. You could make phone calls like that and then go back in the house wherever you are and focus on the people, focus on service, focus on gratitude. How does that sound for a plan for a day? There are 5 things that are scientifically proven to boost willpower if you're trying to get through Thanksgiving. Gratitude, go make a gratitude list. Literally, go into the bathroom, open a note in your smartphone, and type in things that you're grateful for. Meditation, go into the bathroom, set a timer for 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes, sit and take deep breaths until the timer goes off. Prayer, if you're the praying sort, go into the bathroom. God, help me not to eat. This too shall pass. God, please be with me. Remove these thoughts, remove these cravings. God, help me to get through this day without eating. Service. Thanksgiving's such a great day for service. Play with the kids, talk with the old folks, fill up people's drinks, clear dishes, help in the kitchen, take out the trash, go back and play with the kids some more. There's always service to do on Thanksgiving. Gratitude, service, social connection. Those phone calls that I mentioned, they're going to be priceless. They're going to be priceless. And there's your Thanksgiving, for goodness sakes. There's people there. Go connect with them. Find out how they really are. Take the conversation 2, 3, 4 levels below surface level chit chat. How are they really? Share some of your vulnerability. How has this year been challenging for you? What have you learned? What are you working on? What's meaningful to you these days? So that's a recipe for Thanksgiving that will make your heart sing. And if you throw a really thick bright line there, that you're not going to break your bright lines no matter what, you're going to keep them extra squeaky clean, you watch. Those of you who take the challenge, I throw out a Thanksgiving Day challenge right now. Those of you who take the challenge, notice at the end of the night how amazing you feel. How it was the best Thanksgiving ever. I challenge you to post down below in the comments section that you're going to take the Thanksgiving challenge of squeaky clean bright lines on Thanksgiving, and that you're going to come back afterwards and tell us how it was in the comments section on this vlog. Think to yourself, you want to take that challenge? I dare ya. I double dog dare ya. It's going to be awesome. I'm going to do it. I'm going to post that I'm taking the challenge, and I'm going to come back and I'm going to post at the end of my Thanksgiving Day. It's going to be amazing. So for anyone who needs a little bit of tips and tools about the actual food, if you've never done a boot camp, if you don't have the Bright Line Eating food plan, what you're going to eat is one plate of food that has some protein on it, no gravy that has flour in it, some protein, some vegetables, nothing with sugar or flour, no breadcrumbs, no whatever. You might need to bring a dish of vegetables that are unadulterated. Some butternut squash that's been roasted up is delicious. Everybody loves it. It doesn't need anything on it. Some salad or some greens. Maybe bring some greens. If you're not sure there's going to be any unadulterated greens, bring some sautéed spinach with garlic or something. People will love that too. That's your meal. Vegetables, salad, protein. That's it. Awesome. If you're at goal weight, you also get some grains, so that could be like mashed potatoes or rice, no stuffing, that has flour in it, right? That's your meal. It's going to be fine. Now, something to keep in mind is that Thanksgiving meal is sometimes held at weird times, so you're going to want to eat it for lunch or dinner. If you have any control over the meal, don't make it at 3 in the afternoon. Make it at 1 o'clock, 5 o'clock, something like that. And stay connected. Stay connected. It is so possible to have a Bright Line Thanksgiving. I'm about to have my 14th one, and I'm throwing out the Thanksgiving Day challenge. Post below if you're in with me. I'm so excited to see the post down there. I love you. We can do this. We've got this. Rock it out, baby. Thanksgiving is going to be amazing this year. Gratitude, service, connection. We've got this. So, those are my thoughts on Thanksgiving. Now, if you have something that you want me to talk about on the vlog, just send it in. I'm at susan@brightlineeating.com, and I will see you next week on the day before Thanksgiving.